One of the key things that we are pushing for is that let's apply the sanctions, because until we apply the sanctions, that will serve a deterrent to other people from engaging in similar irregularities. For example, people put public funds in private accounts and they are not sanctioned. People fail to lodge
those individuals. Who are they?
That's what I'm saying, that the Auditor General.
The point I'm trying to make is this. It's not as if you and I are here. You don't know the people.
Yeah, these are all caused by people. Yes.
Sankofo ni momo. Sankofo no in the pecking order. Sankofo no at the top.
Let's assume.
No, it's not an assumption. You see,
and so the Auditor General mention names sometimes.
Yes, it's not an assumption. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Our society is built in such a way that some people are above the law, whether you admit it or not. Is the fact.
Well, I would say that we don't consistently apply the sanctions. And sometimes it appears that when these heads of institutions are found foul to the law, we fail to apply the sanctions. And I was coming to that heads of institutions must help us. And if you will permit me to say the recommendations before we go into that.
Go ahead.
What I was going to say is that let's apply the sanctions. We have a lot of sanctions within the PFM law. In fact, the Auditor General has the power to disallow and surcharge. But consistently, the Auditor General has failed to apply this power. And in the Occupy Ghana law case in the Supreme Court, this power was highly affirmed that the Auditor General must be able to use it. And so we are calling on the Auditor General to consistently apply the disallowance and surcharge powers that it has. In fact, if the Auditor General was able to apply that, some of these cash irregularities would be addressed. Again, the Attorney General and the Office of a Special Prosecutor must also help in applying the sanctions in terms of prosecuting these cases. The Attorney General has the responsibility. In fact, if you look at our PFM laws, the Attorney General has a mandate to report on how many cases that it prosecutes based on the Auditor General's report. And consistently, the Attorney General has not been doing that. And you've not seen these sanctions applied. And until we do that, people are not deterred. Then again, let's enhance the internal audit mechanisms within our MDAs. For example, the cash irregularities that we see over the period, they can be addressed if internal audit functions are very strong. Monitoring, evaluation, enforcement must also be strengthened. That in our MDAs, let's strengthen the monitoring evaluation reports that we receive. Heads of institutions must help. There are administrative sanctions that when staff within these MDAs are found foul against our PFM laws and principles, these heads of entities must apply the admin sanctions, but they consistently fail. Then we come to look at the enforcement in terms of compliance enforcement. The GRA must consistently strengthen the compliance enforcement. But for me, the recommendation that stands out that we would like to see is the application of sanctions.